Welcome to TMNT Toy Throwback. Today I'm going to have a look at Dungeons and Turtles? Who writes this shit? Well, alright, let's just run with it. Dungeons and Turtles, get it? Like Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, we're going to have a look at fantasy-style turtles. 1994 brought us Warriors of the Forgotten Sewers. Now, why are we only looking at two turtles here? Because there only were two turtles. The other two guys in this line were Bebop and Rocksteady, which we might have a look somewhere down the line. Shoutouts to old school Playmates figures
for giving us a straight up
Arnold, Conan the Barbarian style Leonardo. This was pretty obvious, right? You have the long, dark, flowing hair, you have the loincloth, and the boots, and a big sword with a turtle head on it, keeping it in the style of TMNT. It's always quite impressive to me, the amount of detail. Golden shell, a necklace, scars and veins, and all of this going into just some one-off, some wannabe Conan the Barbarian Leonardo. There wasn't even in any show or whatnot. They just wanted to make a cool toy, and oh boy, did they ever. Now, I think the biggest downside to these figures is that they're made out of super hard plastic, all the way down to the hand. If you want to get the weapons in there, good luck with that. You really got to heat up the plastic if you even want to have a chance. I mean, with Leo, it's still alright, but Donnie does not F around. I mean, the time it took me to get this hammer in there. Wow, wait. Let's appreciate Donnie for a second. He comes in a complete dwarf outfit, even in size. He's smaller, he's bulkier, and he has one of the most epic beards I've ever seen on a turtle. 100% fancy style, guaranteed, with the big ass hands like a dwarf should have. Even has a dagger molded in there, a nice turtle logo, and they both come with very nicely done capes. I mean, look at all the texture in there. What? And even has a hinge. Speaking of which, articulation wise, I mean, it's swivel time once more. Everywhere. Arms, forearms, head, which is super blocked by his hair. Just look at his hair going down. And we got the classic ball joints on the legs for Donnie. And I mean, Leo is a little bit different. He has this weird rotating arm over here. That was a very bad choice. For the rest of it, it's fairly standard. Swivels and ball joints for the Warriors of the Forgotten Sewer. Now, I'm not making this up, but the next iteration of Fantasy Style Turtles came in 2004, exactly 10 years after the Warriors of the Forgotten Sewers. It's Ninja Knight Turtles! And yes, I know, they're knights. They're not, technically not fantasy stuff. Knights actually existed. But just, you know, I had to get those guys in here somehow, alright? The Ninja Knights suffer from a lot of staples that were introduced in the 2003 line. I say suffer because it just kind of annoyed me how they redid the same stuff over and over again. Which means, first of all, the turtles were put in a bit of a random costume. Now, while that's not a problem, I mean, they were put into random costumes all the time. The thing with this was, it was kind of out of left field, a little unoriginal, and I say put into costumes because this is all removable. And I have some invisible rubber band here, which I forgot about, just to keep it on, because that was another thing, that was another staple. Your armor would often fall off. And something that plagued the line in general, these stupid hinged hands. Try holding the weapon with that. I mean, it works somehow, but as you can tell, they don't have a very tight grip, and that's why I usually have my 2003 turtle displayed without the weapons. Can you believe that? But other than that, I'm not just here to rag on them. They have some very nice chrome on the armor, which fortunately hasn't peeled off yet, so they still look pretty sharp. Even if the rest of the body could use some coloring over there, Playmates. Are you already showing shades of what happens in 2012? And certain turtles definitely look better than others. I really like Donnie's design with the flip-up helmet. Simple chest piece, but that's personal preference. I wouldn't say there's anything incredibly bad about any of them. We have the hinges, which aren't pegs. We have a swivel in the arm, a swivel in the hand, and the stupid hinged hand. And same goes on in the leg. We actually have some knee articulation. And I think that was one of the first times I actually did that. So kudos to that. Kudos to the toe joint and the hinge in the foot. So articulation is pretty good. Even though it's kind of held back by the way, especially the legs are molded. You can turn it around, but it's always at an angle. It's always kind of weird sticking out. So really getting some good stability on there is a challenge. While the Ninja Knights weren't bad, I would definitely say frustrating, especially with all this stuff falling off, them not being able to hold their weapons, but there was something that unfortunately dragged itself through most of the line of the 2003 Turtles. But enough about Knights, how about that true fantasy experience I promised you? Well, my friends, it's in 2014, and yes, I did not make that up, it just everything fell into place. I picked these guys out, and then I realized 1994, 2004 and 2014 were all the fantasy you needed for TMNT. This time around, the 2012 line brings us the full D&D experience by giving us a wizard, a barbarian, an elf, and a knight. Even though I still think he looks like Galactus. I mean, come on, what's with the Galactus helmet, boy? Funny enough, this wasn't even a special series. It was just like, Series 10. There you go. Have some D&D Turtles, which I'm just calling them right now. What's interesting to me is that this is basically a hybrid of the 94 line and the 2004 line, because you have all this molded detail on top of the turtle while still retaining the regular turtle look, just with a rope and removable stuff. Only the helmets this time around though. Only difference, Donnie's headpiece is actually done very well and it doesn't fall off, which I can't say for the other ones. I am Galactus, the Eater of Worlds, and my helmet does not stay on, at all. What's interesting to note about this line is rather than trying to make something super realistic looking, it seems like the Turtles are just cosplaying with rubber ducky bathing towel and a stop sign I was cut in half to make some sweet ass shoulder pads. And whatever the hell this is. I mean, what is this? What is that even supposed to be? Help me, Galactus, put your helmet on. And we once again got a barbarian. This time a lot less looking like Arnold, although it should be noted that Arnold still had a helmet like this in the movie Conan the Barbarian. It should also be noted that this is a time when Playmates doesn't really give a crap about Payne anymore. This is part of his shell. But hey, at least the figures still look cool and we got the full D&D experience. With a mage, a knight, a barbarian, and of course, an elf/archer. Now, I don't know what's wrong with Mikey. I think his neck is way too long. It just sticks out weirdly. And of course, this is not staying on very well, like actually at all. It's just like... What they did do, however, is retain all the different sizes of the turtles in the 2012 line, ranging from 12 centimeters on Mikey to up to 13 centimeters on Donnie on the top of his head. So basically, we're around the 5-inch mark, a little below, a little over it. And the articulation for these guys is just like ball joint in the head. Pegged and hinge in the shoulder, same with the elbow, same with the knee, same with the leg, same with everything. Hinges. Yay! And there you go. I hope you had your fancy fix. And one thing we learned is that Playmates apparently will do a new fantasy style turtle every 10 years. So here's to 2024, when I probably just get the rights to D&D and do a line that's called Dungeons and Turtles. But remember when I said at the very first episode of TMNT Toy Throwback that basically you have a turtle for everything. You have knights, elves, warriors, dudes who lose their helmets because I just wanted to display Leo with a stupid helmet that fell off again. Because it's dumb. But hey, we have a better Leo over here with stuff that doesn't fall off. I mean, I like this one better a lot. And then we have a dwarf. And that makes the family complete of TMNT Toy Throwback Dungeons and Turtles. I'm sticking with that title. It took me like 10 seconds to come up with it. But it doesn't matter. What matters is the figure. And if you like fancy stuff, Turtles got you covered as always. So as usual, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoy TMNT Toy Throwback, let me know it. If you want to see more, feel free to subscribe. And I'll be back next time with more TMNT Toy Throwback Pizza Time!